So do you need to have more than 16 gigabytes of system memory in 2025? Well, it really depends on what you are doing. And I'm going to be getting into all those nitty-gritty details in this video. Now, if all you are doing is browsing the web and that's it, you don't even need to have 16 gigabytes of memory, but this is not really what this video is about. It's focused on gaming. So with that being said, how much memory actually do you need for your gaming computer system? I would personally start with at least 32 gigabytes of memory. Now that's just for a gaming computer system, and that's all you are doing on it. So start there for a gaming rig. The new gaming engines these days do require, well, an excellent video card, and the rest of the components in your system also should be fantastic. You don't want one of those components to bottleneck your computer system, so please keep that in mind. I mean, while it's important to have enough memory, if there is components in your system that is not going to perform properly, you can have lots and lots and lots of memory, and that's not going to help at all. But modern gaming engines do require a fair amount of system memory. Like, for example, if you look at a lot of the open world games, you know, they have a ton of image data. And if you have at least 32 gigabytes of system memory, they can run a little bit smoother and the system can cache more data. And it could actually improve performance overall, and especially stuttering, although stuttering is something that is pretty common if you are using the Unreal Engine, whether it's the Unreal Engine 4 or 5. So 32 gigabytes of system memory if you are using the computer system for gaming only. Now, if you're using your system for playing games and streaming, and while you're playing games and streaming, you have a bunch of stuff in the background open, you have a browser open with 20 tabs open inside of it, you might need more than 32 gigabytes of memory, so keep that in mind. And the more stuff you have running in the background, of course, is going to affect performance, and in some cases, memory will mitigate that. Now, you don't have to break the bank when it comes to buying memory. You don't have to go out and buy the fastest memory available. Would be nice, but, you know, budgets and all. If you can't, it's not a big deal. You can get something middle of the road, you know, something that's not super slow and something that's not super fast, because that stuff that's super fast is going to cost you a small fortune. Now, this is very important. You want to research not only memory, but everything in your system to death. So remember, research everything to death, because if you do that, you should be able to build a very fast and reliable system that will last you for a long time. And this goes to my next point. By getting 32 gigabytes of memory, or for that matter, 64 gigabytes of memory if you are doing more than gaming on that system, it's going to future-proof your purchase. So just to recap here, 16 gigabytes is an absolute minimum. If you go with 16 gigabytes because it doesn't fit into your budget, make sure you have space on your motherboard for another 16 gigabytes, because trust me, you're going to purchase that later on when you can't afford it. Speed is also very important. You can go with DDR4, but I would recommend you go with DDR5. Timing is also very important. The lower, the better, but the lower it is, the more expensive it's going to be. So you have to weigh that, right? Now, most of the new memory will be dual channel, so dual channel memory and 2 sticks of it. Now, most motherboards will come with 4 memory slots. If you start with 32 gigabytes, don't fill all of those memory slots up. Get 2 dual channel sticks of 16 gigabytes each, because then if you want to, you can get 2 more sticks of 16 gigabytes each, and then you will have 64 gigabytes. And this kind of goes as well for 16 gigabytes. So if you start off with 16 gigabytes, you can get 2 8s, and then you're open up later on to get another 2 8s, and then you'll have 32 in total. So it all depends on what you want to do. It's probably safer and more future-proof if you get 2 sticks of 16 to total 32 because that leaves it wide open and you can then upgrade to much more system memory, 64 gigabytes. Now, this is vital. Make sure that you are picking up memory from a reputable company. Now, you might ask, well, what is a reputable company? Well, remember when I said research everything to death? Do lots of research, but I'll just throw a few names out there. Corsair, Crucial, G-Skill. There are more companies that are pretty reputable when it comes to reliable memory, and I can't tell you how important it is to have rock solid memory in your system, because if you have problems with your memory, it is going to give you, well, tons and tons of headaches, because your system is going to all of a sudden freeze or restart, or maybe a certain application or a game will crash, but others won't. It's just weird stuff when you have poor memory or memory that failed. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. So if you have any ideas, suggestions, or comments, you can post them down below. I will see you in the next one.